I think Tom's here and we'll be ready to roll.
Should be good, Chris.
All right, Tom, if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right. We're going to throw it out the questions. Coach, the first question this afternoon from Mike Finn.
Hi, Tom. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Tom, in the preseason press conference, most thing you wanted was a complete season after last year. But with what's happened with Michigan and what's happened with some teams being affected by this, are you concerned whether there will be a postseason? And if everything that's being done now is correct, or should perhaps this season stop now and allow teams prepare for the postseason?
I don't have an opinion on anything except for let's get to the end. COVID's an uncertain thing, and the way that it can come up and bite you is an uncertain thing because people's opinions on the severity of it vary greatly. It's a really polarizing topic. So we're just gonna keep training and competing when we can and when we're set to go, and we'll just keep doing the right thing. Whether we alter course or, change the format of getting into the postseason quicker or whatever, hitting a pause during the regular season, I don't know if it really matters. I think you're just going to have to plow through, and maybe with a little bit of luck, you get to the end. But we got to get to the end.
Well, Tom, can I ask you how many matches, so-called real matches, do your guys need to be ready for a postseason?
I think they're ready when they came out of the womb. And that's how you got to talk to guys, and that's how you prepare them, and that's how you get a funny reaction where they can relax.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Tom, the next question from Chad Leistico.
Hi, Tom. Good to see you. How would you describe to people why it looks so easy for Spencer Lee when we watch him on TV, or I would guess TV this year, not in person? How does he make it look so easy?
He's just pretty determined on going out and doing what he's going to do. And, the thing that people also got to realize is that he's more diverse in his attacks. It doesn't look like it, but he really is. And his mind is as open as it's ever been, type thing. Like, he'll be talking to Terry and it'll be like, hey, if it gets slow out there and I look over and you go cut him, I'm just going to cut him. Just tell me if it's getting slow. So he's maybe just really has a lot of tools at his disposal that he's always had, but maybe he'll rely on them more. Very diverse in his attack. He's always been diverse, but maybe didn't have quite the belief in it. It was just one way he was going to do it. And so that's been definitely awesome to see the growth there. And so why does it look effortless? Well, there's growth. There's no automatic either. I mean, there's no automatic. He's got to keep his edge, and nobody knows that more than him.
Tom, the next question from KJ Pilcher.
Hi, Tom. When Nelson came into the program, how much of a raw commodity was he as a wrestler, and how much is his development based on him doing what he does well and just expanding on that, or just maybe having more of a diverse arsenal?
Raw commodity is probably a good word. The thing is he is as good as he wants to be from where I sit. And the development where maybe you're seeing some things in his past, he's getting past those things, meaning you're going to have to do some things in tough matches to make them go your way. And when those things happen and they start to become a habit, then the gap's going to widen on the score. And that's what you're seeing. And because when the gap widens on the score, you're starting to become more dominant. And dominant mentality, a dominant wrestler wins the tough matches and the tight matches. You know, he's got good attacks on his feet, and, you know, he's an explosive guy, and he definitely has made progress in the emotional side of things, where he'll keep it together in a crisis situation. And I'm talking about a wrestling crisis. And he comes from pretty doggone good stock with Michelle and Terry Brands, who, you know, have prepared him really his whole life for, you know, crisis situations and real life crisis situations. He's a good kid. He's popular with his teammates, funny guy, and getting better. And that's the main thing, is we just got to keep getting better.
Thank you.
The next question from Cody Goodwin.
Hey, Coach. Just with the news that Michigan won't be here this weekend, I know that was probably an opportunity you guys were looking forward to. Is there a message that you send your team, or that you talk to your team about because of what happened up there?
There's a message in the COVID message is that no matter how well you do it, no matter how you do it right, you could get bit. And, you know, it's what it is. I mean, it literally is it's literally like the flu. You can't, I mean, it's not like you can determine your fate here. The message with Michigan is there's a concerted effort out there by the athletes, rightly so, to advocate for them competing. So stay ready. And most important is we still got a date on the calendar, and Illinois is coming to town regardless. So we got to be ready to go.
The next question from Chad Leistico.
Circling back to Spencer again, like how do you keep him sharp every day? He's, you know, when he's winning these matches 18-0, what do you use as motivating tools every day?
You know, here's the thing with any, you know, and you could ask any coach this. You operate within a framework, and that framework changes according to the individual athlete's needs. So the communication is always, meaning on what I mean by, I was going to say, the communication is always on point. And that means that we don't always get it right, but it's not like, you know, it's the same thing every day. And then it gets, we got to worry about it getting stale. I don't know how stale it really gets in our wrestling room ever, when you have the right mindset, because it's continual progress. And he operates with that mentality, that continual progress mentality, since day one, since we started to know him. And, you know, I'm sure that was ingrained in him by Larry and Kathy Lee. So it's not hard, because it doesn't get stale, because you know what? People are gunning for you. And you don't have to look too far to remind yourself that, you know, it's not necessarily a level playing field all the time. I mean, as soon as he gets a takedown, just screaming from the other corners, and even the referee starts screaming, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. And he's so good at what he does. I mean, that's the only way you're going to beat him, is you just got to pre-program with conversations that, you know, what he's to the referee or whatever, that you have to pre-program with the referee that it's what he's doing is illegal. And it's not. It's methodical, it's slow, it's in control. There's nothing explosive and dirty and cheap about it. And so you don't have to look too far to remind yourself that there may be some shady business out there to try to unseat you. And that's what they want to do. You know, the Hawkeyes love a winner when we're on the same team, but no one else really likes that winner.
Yeah. Would you ever move it? Have you ever thought about moving him up to 133 or anything like that, just for a one match kind of one-off type thing to have
We'll
tougher competition?
We'll see what happens, but you know, I think he could probably be a capable fill-in for any weight class. So he's our 25-pounder. He's a spark plug, and even if we don't start first at 25 because of the way the rules are, he's a spark plug. Wherever you hit him in that 10-match sequence in a dual meet, or wherever you get to watch him as a fan on TV in the Big Ten or national tournament, he's a spark plug, and he's wired the right way. Gotta love it.
The next question from Mike Finn.
Tom, getting back to Nelson, since he is your nephew and his family, can you share any story at all which you would have remembered him as a child, what it was like that you would have thought, hey, maybe someday he might be wrestling for me, or the fact that he actually dealt, he lives with the name, the brand's name, and how he's dealt with that?
I think he has put that in perspective from day one, and I think that was something that the way you're raised, you deal with that. Terry was hands off, surprisingly so, and that surprises people, but it doesn't surprise me. We want individuals in our program, and Nelson's his own man, and he was raised like you raise your kids. He wasn't raised to be a champion on the mat. He was raised to be a champion in life, and he chose wrestling. The story that I remember is there was a ruckus in the backyard with his cousins, and his nose was bleeding, and he got thumped pretty good. But I just remember him, he was sitting out away, hanging his nose away from his chest so it wouldn't bleed on his leg or his chest or whatever. And he was kind of laughing and giggling. And I saw it. He got hit hard, and he was just kind of laughing, like, how do I stop the bleeding? And it had happened with his cousins in a competition in the backyard. And yeah, he was just pretty much, kind of a chuckle, like, how do I get this nose to stop bleeding? And, that's a pretty good sign that you got somebody that can deal with, a little owie or a little bit of discomfort or pain or whatever. So there's a funny story for you.
Thanks, Tom.
Two more questions. The first from Cody Goodwin, then we'll finish with Mike Halas. Cody, go ahead.
Coach, kind of a two-parter for you. One, is there any chance with Nelson wrestling the way he is that we could see Abe Assad wrestle some of those extra matches? And then I'll have a quick follow.
Abe Assad is definitely critical to our program for sure. There's things going on there that we don't talk about. And when it's time for him to be on the mat, he'll be on the mat. Absolutely, 100%. Our team is best with Abe Assad in the mix. Make no mistake about that.
Definitely. And then the quick follow I had on that was just, when you have a guy like that in a situation like this where you have two capable wrestlers, what's the message to the second guy when, Nelson's wrestling the way he is? What's the message to Abe to keep him ready and make sure he stays ready?
The message is the same as it's been since I came to school here, and actually since I wrestled for Sheldon 5th grade club team. That's be ready and know your role. Be ready at any time you can get called to the mat. If you're eating popcorn and playing, checkers in the back room, getting ready for your match, all of a sudden your name's called. You better, when you walk out that mat, you better be ready to go. Or Tetris or whatever it is. And he has to be ready to go. And, we talk about it all the time. And there's no ambiguity or no miscommunication there. And Abe Assad has done that well, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing right now to get back on the mat very well as well. So there's no issues there.
The final question for Tom Brands from Mike Halas.
Tom, moments ago, you talking about Nelson, you said that you want individuals. Some of us deal with other sports where we don't hear that too often, but what does it mean to you and why do you want individuals?
I mean, it's simple to me because individuality is accountability. When you're an individual and you're doing the things that are right on your own, there's power in that. And to have to be told to do something at this age when you've been recruited, when the communication has been there from day one and you had a choice of where you're going to go to school, that's a waste of time for everybody. And so, specifically with Nelson, that hasn't been an issue. He's his own man. He said it. He's been saying it for a long time. Yeah, his last name's Brandt. So what? He chose the sport of wrestling. He's an individual. He's a hard worker. He's a good kid. He's God-centered and all the things that you want. And so that's what I mean by we want individuals. We want guys that are going to do it their own way and they're going to do it right. And when things unravel a little bit,
Just froze up on me.
excuse me? And when things unravel there a little bit, you know what an individual does? He looks in the mirror and he says, that's the guy that got me in trouble, and that's the guy that's got to get me out. And our whole team is wired pretty much that way. We love it. We love it. It's a blast in there. It's a blast in there to have accountable guys.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Thanks. Rock and roll.
Jacob Warner and Nelson Brands are on deck.
I'll go first. I know you guys want to talk to Nelson. He'll go second.
All right, let's get this over with then, huh, Jake? Two-time All-American, 197-pounder, ranked third in the country. Jacob Warner facing his home state team, Illinois. Jake, with the first question from Mike Finn.
Hi, Jacob. You're not going to wrestle Michigan this week because of the COVID stuff, and it is a factor. So you don't really know how many matches, regular season matches, you're going to get this year before the tournament. How many tournament, so-called real matches do you need, and what kind of duplication can you get in the wrestling room that you don't really even need the real matches?
I think the magic number is 4, if I remember correctly. You have to have 4 in order to be able to wrestle in the nationals this year. They changed. So as far as that goes, just as long as I get 4 matches, I know I'm going to get the training that's going to get me there. Obviously, every match I get is priceless. So the more matches, the better. But right now I'm at 2, so I'm halfway there.
What do you get in the wrestling room?
Just being able to go with different partners, getting different feels, getting pushed every day. I mean, that's the big thing. We spend 95% of our time in the practice room, 5% on the matches. So that's where the majority of the time spent. So that's where I got to keep my focus a lot of times. And then when the matches come, worry about it then.
Jacob, the next question from Cody Goodwin.
Hey, Jacob, appreciate you guys doing this. What was the message or the reaction when you guys found out about the Michigan news earlier this week? Because I know that was probably a pretty fun opportunity for you guys this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, we were all looking forward to it. Obviously, they're number 2. We were assuming they were going to have their big guns in the lineup, getting ready to roll. So I think when we found out, it was just a little disappointing. I think I found out from a tweet that Assad sent me. So none of us really knew if it was true or not, because you can never believe anything on the internet these days. So we had to figure it out, and Tom and Terry confirmed it. So it was sad. I mean, obviously we want to wrestle, but I mean, I get it. They have to take care of other stuff first. So I'm not going to fault them for that. We just have to get ready for Illinois now only, and that's okay.
Jacob, the next question from KJ Pilcher.
Jacob, you talked about just how the upper weights kind of push each other. Can you describe what it's like in the room? I mean, is it an all-out brawl, from day to day? Is it just pushing each other past, your mental limits? What is it about pushing each other that you guys experience from day to day?
Yeah, it's a brawl, but it's a friendly brawl. We're all there to help each other, up and down the lineup, from me all the way down to the bottom guy, and we're all willing to help each other. I remember, just an example, I remember sitting at nationals my freshman year, and we were talking about Cade Brownlee, who obviously isn't in the starting lineup, but I remember saying, like, if I ever need anything, I can ask Cade Brownlee and he'll help me. If I need to say, hey, I need to hit 20 executions and it's the day before Big Tens, he's gonna be like, all right, what time do you want me to be there? So big thing for us is, we're all there to help each other, and not even just guys on the team. We still have Burak and Telford and Brooks and stuff like that. So it's just, we're there to push each other, whether it's live wrestling or drilling or whatever we need in the weight room. Need a good lift, Corbin can help you out there and get strong. So we all have our perks to help each other.
Warner, the next question from Grant Becker.
I know you're looking forward and looking at what's next, but I wanted to go back to the Nebraska match, and you're right there. And I know that you were incredibly frustrated after that one. Was that because you felt you were so close and you had the opportunity to take that match? And how important was it to have such a high level match right away at the start of the season, particularly when opportunities are limited, so you can gauge exactly where you're at and know where you got to go?
Yeah, I mean, I was frustrated, obviously. I'm sure people heard it if you're in the arena. But it was mostly frustrating me because I know Schultz is good. Obviously, every match I've had with him has been close. I think the biggest thing for me is, I mean, I was right there. I knew exactly where I wanted to be, and I was there, and I made a bonehead mistake as I've been telling myself. Made a mistake that I don't want to make again, obviously, and it cost me the match. I made 2 mistakes actually in that final stretch, or 3 really, now that I'm going back and thinking about it. But I mean, obviously, I wanted to win that match. It's a big match. He's ranked number 2 and is one of the best guys in my weight. So obviously, beating him would have been huge, would have been big for Big Ten seeding, national seedings. But hopefully, I'll see him again at Big Tens and nationals, and I can right the ship. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm trying to move past it now and focus on what I can get better at and how I can fix it.
The next question from Chris Werner.
Hi, Jacob. I'm just wondering, obviously the Michigan news was a kind of a letdown, but how big is it that you still got another team coming in this weekend and you still have a match?
Yeah, Illinois is huge. It's probably bigger to me than a lot of my other teammates. Being from Illinois, I live 10 minutes from their campus. So I grew up in their wrestling room. I've been going there since I was 8 years old. My kids club actually practices there. So for me, it's a big meet for me, big one to get up for. So I'm just excited for it, getting excited to wrestle them and keep getting better. So.
Warner will do 2 more questions. The first from Cody Goodwin.
Hey, Jake, now that Nelson's quite a bit bigger, or at least he looks quite a bit bigger, do you wrestle with him at all in the room? And if you do, what's that like?
We've wrestled a couple times, only live a handful of times. We'll drill together every once in a while. It's good. He's a lot different feel. He's a lot different than my normal partners at 97, who are probably more, I'm not saying he's weak, but their wrestling's more focused on being strong. Nelson's a little bit quicker, a little bit not smarter, but strategy. Like he's quicker. I mean, he knows what to do, knows what to hit, when, and where. So it's a lot different of a feel as far as that goes. And it's good to be able to wrestle with guys like that, being able to wrestle smaller guys like him or Assad or Wilson, whoever it is, who are more explosive and faster. And I have to bring a different A game to the table when I wrestle them.
Excuse me, Warner, the final question from Anna Kaiser.
Yeah, so you mentioned being from Illinois, growing up really close to their campus and being in their wrestling room. Does a duel like this, facing your hometown team, bring any extra pressure for you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, but more excitement, I would say. A little bit of pressure is obviously good, but I'm just excited for the match. And I mean, a lot of my friends are on the team too, so I'll get to see them. So, I mean, there's good things that can come out of wrestling them, and I'm excited for it. Excited to see some of my friends, excited to compete against them. So just trying to get ready for it.
All right, Jacob, good luck on Sunday.
Thanks.
Warner will slide out and Nelson Brands will slide in. If you have a question for Nelson, throw your hand up in the reaction window at the bottom of your screen. Nelson will take the first question this afternoon from Mike Finn.
Hi, Nelson. Anytime you've talked to us, you've been pretty much downplay. You're just almost like a free spirit. At least that's the type you appear to be. Your father and your uncle are not like that. Can you talk about what it's like was growing up with that so-called intensity? And do you have any of it that matches that?
I'd say I'm very, very, very competitive. Like, if they said who's gonna talk first on this Zoom call, I'm gonna speak first. I want to be first. I want to be first in pretty much everything that I do. And I mean, I'd have instances in my life growing up where I'd try to get to the first of the line in 3rd grade, and I got in trouble for that. And things like that are definitely similar to Tom and Terry. And I feel like I'm a way different person though when it comes to like being more mellow and chill with wrestling or just life in general. I definitely am, I want to say more relatable, but I don't want to bash my dad and Tom. So yeah.
Nelson, the next question from KJ Pilcher.
Hi, Nelson. I know when you first got started, it was in middle school, and that's a little bit later than maybe a lot of D1 wrestlers getting into the sport. But how has your evolution as a wrestler really accelerated now that you're at this level and that you stepped into this program?
Well, I mean, I truly believe that there's no better place that I could be than Carver Hawkeye Arena with Tom and Terry. And I say Tom and Terry instead of my dad and my uncle because when I'm in Carver Hawkeye Arena, I refer to them as Tom and Terry. And as soon as I leave here, I'm back to Dad and Tom. But I definitely enjoy it. I enjoy wrestling here.
Is there any specific area that you've really made gains over the last couple seasons?
I feel like I'm more stingy. I think I wrestle positions through to the full extent of the position, and yeah, I enjoy it.
Nelson, the next question from Cody Goodwin.
Hey, Nelson, appreciate you doing this. Have you ever thought about, when Tom and Terry wrestled, their Olympic weights, I'm pretty sure were like 58 and 62 kilos. And here you are at 184. Have you thought about just how much bigger you are than them? And that's how it's kind of funny to kind of see that, right?
Yeah. I mean, Terry jokes with me a lot. He'll go, "You want to go a match?" I'm like, "You do not want to go a match." And the last time we went a match, I was a freshman in high school, and it was a full extent match, and I lost 11-8, I think. And it was not fun, and I don't think it'd be very fun for him if we wrestled right now, which I'm sure we won't, but if he wants to, when he doesn't really care about his low back, we might go.
Anything else for Nelson? All right, Nelson, thanks for your time. Oh, excuse me. We'll go one more, Nelson. Excuse me, one more. Oh, two more. Let's take two more questions. The first from Isaac Goffin.
Yeah, just looking ahead at Illinois, what do you see from Illinois that will make this what do you see from Illinois for this next meet?
Okay, so I know I've got Bronigal. I've wrestled both the twins, and they have very similar feels. They're bashy guys. They're going to come at you and headbutt you and swing arms. And I like that. I like that feeling. I like getting hit a few times. And I'm going to have to be super stingy with him, and I'm going to have to frustrate him and get him out of his positions to get to mine.
All right, Nelson, it looks like that's all we have. So thanks so much for the time this afternoon. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, Sunday's duel, 11 a.m. If you were credentialed for the season and you attended on January 15th, you should have picked up credentials for the entire season, so all 3 dates. If you have questions about whether or not that's true, or you have questions about whether you can find a credential, just drop me an email and we'll get you set up. Doors open at 8:30 for the extra matches that start at 9. More information will follow, hopefully as early as tomorrow. So thanks everyone for being here.
Thanks, Brew.